What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of TheLead Houston, where it's all Houston all the time. You have already heard my draft grades for the Texans. You saw my draft recap for day 3. We got a little bit more of the recap into some of the draft grade conversation. Now we get to what a national media, one of the most renowned national media talking heads when it comes to anything scouting and NFL draft related. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't guess it already, ESPN's own Mel Kiper. Now, I'm not the biggest Mel Kiper fan, but whenever he's on, it's kind of just something to turn on. It's something with Mel Kiper that immediately I go, man, I hate to see what this guy has to talk about. And I'm immediately watching. So, and I'm I'm not a biggest fan of Mel Kiper, and I'm not a big fan of immediate draft grades, but people love draft grades. People love that content. I don't think it's fair to make a draft grade as soon as you just did a pick and just randomly, all right, guys, it's the day after the draft. Might as well drop a draft grade because apparently everything that we said on our board was right. No, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But we'll go ahead and get into the reaction with Mel Kiper, as y'all know, renowned NFL draft expert per se. Let me go ahead and get this rolling. There we go. Mel Kiper. Okay, he just dropped it. Um, a few hours ago, last night at midnight. Shocking early trade put me on my heels early on Thursday night. We waited for more, waited and waited. Then my top ranked quarterback just kept falling all the way to day 3. What a strange and exciting 2025 NFL draft it was. Yada, yada, yada. Let's get into the Houston Texans, all right? While you're at it, guys, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers again. Thank you all so very, very much for all the love and support. Let me know down in the comment section how much you hate or love Mel Kiper's draft grade. All right, guys, as y'all know, this is a Houston Texans state of mind, and we're going to dive right into it. So I'm sure they have it where you can just filter it by teams, and there we go. So the Houston Texans, bam, here we go. What is the draft grade? He's got it as a B plus. Okay. So we'll get into reading some of the description here, and we'll see taking a look into what is going on, what happened, and all that good stuff, and how does he see the Houston Texans faring with this draft class and going into the NFL. Go ahead and get into it. Top needs entering this draft were wide receiver, offensive tackle, and guard. All right. QB CJ Stroud took a step back last season, which is why the theme of Houston's draft always had to be getting him more support. Top 3 receivers: Nico has missed 8 games, Stephon Diggs 10, Tank Dell 3. All missed time of injuries in 2024. Dell's return timeline, significant knee injury, is uncertain, and Diggs is now in New England. Stroud was also sacked 52 times, second most in the NFL behind a poor O-line. Houston retooled the unit in free agency, but I'm not sure anyone would say it absolutely improved. Texans swapped out Laramie Tunsil, Kenyon Green, Shaq Mason for Cam Robinson, Ed Ingram, and Lincoln Tomlinson. You get the point, and it's the reason my top needs for Houston all came on offense. This front office can't let Stroud's rookie contract slip away, especially in a winnable AFC South. But rather than attack the holes with its early picks, Houston keeps trading back for more draft capital, including selections in future years. Texans entered Thursday with 7 picks, but ended up making 9. In all, they made 7 trades in the draft. Nick Caserio, man. The Texans dealt their first rounder in one of these moves, but they made 4 day 2 selections. 2 of them were the Iowa State wide receivers, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. They were both top 7 receivers on my board. As for O-line, Ariante Ursary, 6'6", 330, can handle speed or power off the edge, might not step into a starting role right away, but he could develop into a starting left tackle in time. Texans took Jalen Smith, my cornerback, 25 at the end of the 3rd round, but there's upside in his game. They traded a future 3rd rounder to move up from 179 to 116 to take my RB 17 early in round 4. I like Woody Marks, though. He squirts through traffic to break free. interesting verb. The 2 picks in the 7th round are interesting flyers. I moved DT Keontae Hamilton on my board late in the process and tight end Luke Lakely. Luke Lakey has some strong blocking traits. No guard here, but Houston did improve the most important thing for its draft, improve the offense around CJ Stroud. I think ultimately that was what I was talking about when I gave him a C plus. He's giving him a B plus, and I don't disagree with anything he's really saying. I still think the biggest concern for the Houston Texans is them not improving the interior of the offensive line. They got some guys and they got some bandages over it, but how long are those bandages going to be staying for this team? How much faith are we going to have to blindly throw at Nick Caley and Cole Popovich? I'm hoping, believe me, I am. I'm hoping they can figure it out. But it does worry me that the Texans didn't do a lot to improve their offensive line. So that to me is the biggest worry after this draft. But I don't think there's nothing unfair with Mel Kiper's point here. B plus is pretty rich. He really likes a lot of these picks for us. Talked about everyone except Jalen Reed, the safety from Penn State, and then Graham Mortz, the quarterback from Florida. Everyone else he talked pretty good about. And so I have no problem with these picks. He talked really high of Higgins and Noel. Both of them were the top 7 receivers on his board. So that's a really good get. Ursary, as we know, I've already talked about him. The one that was a little bit of a head scratcher for me was the cornerback Jalen Smith out of USC. Not that they didn't need a corner. Yeah, they always need a corner. But considering his draft value and where you took him, screams special teams guy. But Mel Kiper says that he likes his traits and he likes that there is a lot of upside in his game. If the Houston Texans, similarly, when they drafted Kalen Bullock, now Kalen Bullock was a lot higher than Jalen Smith was on everyone's board, but there was a lot of similar talk with Kalen Bullock. He's got a lot of high upside, and we'll see if he can put it all together. And then when he was on the football field, it was immediately like, man, this guy needs to get some more reps as a starter. Yes, there were some learning curves and there were some troubles, but he was a rookie. I think he's going to get a whole lot better. And I think the Houston Texans got themselves a whole lot better offensively with CJ Stroud. I think you have now comfortably placed CJ Stroud in a position where he can be adequate enough. You got him so many weapons right now. I've already mentioned the 4 wide receivers that we did grab for him. I'm curious to see what the scheme is going to be and how they can use all 4 wide receivers. Are we going to be able to see more 4 wide receiver sets? Is that what we're looking at? That would be very interesting. That would be very, very fun, actually. I am curious and I am hoping that Nick Caley is the guy for the Houston Texans, but I am more so curious in how he gets to utilizing all these guys, including Woody Marks, who is a very good receiving back as well. Maybe he could line up a little bit at wide receiver and create some mismatches for opposing defenses. There's different ways you can play chess. Nick Caley is going to have to be the guy to be the main chess guy, and hopefully the Houston Texans and Nick Caserio, hopefully they got this B plus draft grade. Hopefully that's what it is. You let me know down in the comment section if you agree or disagree with Mel Kiper's draft grade. Drop your draft letter grades down in the comment section below. You know I will reply. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day.